Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy, YBP Gang, YBP Nation, YBP Boxing, YBP MMA. Coming at y'all with yet another early fight prediction. It just got announced at the UFC 290 ceremonial weigh-ins that indeed Jones will be taking on Gon at UFC 295, which should fall around November 11th, someday in November. Honestly, Initially, I thought that something was going on with MIOCIC. A lot of rumors were circulating that fight was falling through, that MIOCIC was done with fighting. Just a lot of stuff, a lot of he said, she said. But indeed, I mean, the initial plan was, well, if you really go back when Ngannou was back in the UFC, the initial plan was Jones Ngannou, and if Ngannou wasn't ready, it was going to be Curtis Blades. Then it became Cyril Gane. And once that fight got announced and put into place, from my understanding and a lot of people's understanding, what they had agreed on was that MIOCIC would be next up in line, and then to fight MIOCIC on some sort of card. Initially, it was supposed to be 290, and the International Fight Week. That fell through. Now they're going to be fighting in New York, but that was the plan. And then Jones is going to retire if he wins. I don't know. We could talk about that first of all. That's an interesting dynamic to this fight because it seems like both of these guys are kind of have their foots out the door. I don't know how it's going to play an effect on the fight, like psychologically, how it's going to affect maybe how Jones goes about the fight, maybe how, MIOCIC goes about the fight. Because MIOCIC, after the Ngannou knockout in his last fight, kind of seemed like, maybe he's getting up there in age too. I think Jones probably has a lot more left in him, but he's accomplished so much becoming the heavyweight champion. So you can see, you beat number one guy. You finish Cyril Gane in emphatic fashion. You do it better than the former heavyweight champ did in Ngannou. And then you take out arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time in Stipe Miocic. So it just adds that legacy to it. So you see why he'd want to go out on top and maybe not fight a guy like Sergey Pavlovich. But getting to the fight, how they match up with each other, it's really interesting because, again, this is another fight where because this, you got to be thinking about these fights. When these fights get rumored, when we hear about them, you got to immediately think how these fights are going to go. And when I first heard about this fight, I'm like, Miocic's probably going to get, because he's a little older and all this type of stuff. But then I see that Cyril Gane fight happens. Because I'm just thinking ahead, they're saying that Miocic is going to fight the winner. Just some stuff to highlight if we can really go through it. Jones' sloppy striking that I saw in that matchup, just really looked weird. He didn't look like his light heavyweight self. He could just be acclimated to the heavyweight style, so we might see a better version of Jones when they do face off at UFC 295, sorry. And then kind of the lack of resistance from Gane too in the grappling exchanges. Gane just kind of, I don't want to take credit away from Jones's performance, but it did seem like Gane was a little fish out of water. I don't know what happened exactly in that matchup because it's not like he's never trained grappling exchanges in his life and he's never done anything to that capacity like he has. But for some reason in that matchup, he just completely blanked out, forgot how to fight. He's not gonna have that same resort with Miocic. Miocic can wrestle, he can grapple a little bit. He doesn't have the same dimensions as Cyril Gane, but that could work to his favor in some ways. And then also the fight ending so quick leaves you to question Jones's gas tank. We don't know what the fight's gonna look like in the second, third, fourth, and fifth round. You'd like to hope that Jones would be fine and he'd be able to survive. And I don't even want to say survive. We don't know. I don't know if he's great in the later rounds. Because like I said, when we're evaluating heavyweight Jones's fights, we can't look back at his light heavyweight. We can look back somewhat. This is a whole new fighter, a whole new guy, new weight class. There's different, same Jones, but there's different layers that we have to uncover when we're breaking him down because, not everything's going to be the same. The speed's not going to be there. The finesse might not be there. And then you look on the MIOCIC side, even in the Ngannou fight, and past fights, we see his great boxing, great technical ability. Got caught with some really big shots. I say to this day, man, like Ngannou's the greatest, or he's the best heavyweight to ever walk planet Earth. I don't know about the greatest because he didn't have that long of a tenure at heavyweight, but you can make an argument for it, for sure. But he's the best heavyweight that's ever walked on planet Earth. So to get knocked out by Ngannou, that's not bad. It was a masterclass performance. He dealt with the grappling really well. He was big in there, used his strength, defended the takedowns. Everything that MIOCIC had in mind, just Ngannou just completely shut it down. But again, great boxing, great chin to eat some of the shots that Ngannou had. I don't picture a world where Jones is able to stop MIOCIC in this matchup. Just because, like I said, I mean, we haven't, from the little striking that we did see, it didn't look good. I'll just say that. Like, we didn't see much, but he looked slow. He looked labored. He looked like your normal heavyweight. He didn't look like Jones, And then, obviously, the heavyweight experience. He's fought, way more times at heavyweight than Jones has, MIOCIC. So then, when you kind of negate because even though he did get, brutally knocked out by Ngannou, I think he still has, a great chin. He's so tough. When you kind of negate, that knockout risk, which I'm not saying Jones couldn't catch him and, something happens, but I'm less worried about it. I'm more worried about it with a guy like Ngannou than I am with a guy like Jones. Now we're looking at grappling. Jones is really good in that area, too. It's a tough fight to predict. I don't know. I could see Jones doing Jones-type things. It's just hard for me to pick a path to victory for either guy, really, because, I mean, let's just be honest. Jones is not doing what he did to Gane against MIOCIC. It's just not happening. The grappling ability is there somewhat. But then, MIOCIC, it's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, MIOCIC caught, Ngannou with some good shots, despite the reach. So I don't think that's going to be too big. If we want to, I'll probably try to put these on the screen for the MIOCIC fight against Francis Ngannou. Obviously 38, probably going on 39. 6'4", 234 pounds, so he's a little lighter. We'll see how he comes in for this matchup. He has an 80-inch reach. With that 80-inch reach, he was able to still catch Ngannou a couple of times in that fight. Still able to utilize some boxing in there, but Ngannou has a really good chin too. And then Jones, 35, 6'4", 248 pounds, going to be the heavier guy in there in the grappling exchanges. And then 84.5-inch reach. I'm not too worried about that, honestly. The reach and MIOCIC getting inside and striking with him, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for MIOCIC. I think he'll be able to find a way, adjust, and do something. Probably train with some. 4.5-inch reach for a guy like MIOCIC. I don't know. That ain't too bad. I think he can deal with it. Yeah, man, this is a tough fight to predict. I don't know. I'm trying to talk. Just trying to feel something on my mind. I'm not leaning a certain way. Usually when I hear a fight, I'm 100% this guy, 100% that guy. This is it's a close fight, tough fight to predict. I mean, even in Jones' last fight, I did pick Gane. Solely because of the fact there's not much on Jones. And I thought Jones would be labored, Jones would be slow. And some of that stuff was still true, but I mean, Jones was right when he said that Gane was really one-dimensional. And those same things that he was right about when it came to Cyril Gane are just not true when it comes to MIOCIC. So it's going to be interesting because I think Jones will be the heavier guy in the matchup. In those grappling exchanges, it will be interesting. Maybe he puts his weight on him. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. But I think I got to go with my gut. I'm going to go with MIOCIC via 4th round knockout That's a tough one. Even I don't know. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna refrain. I think the fourth round knockout really comes from the fact that Jones' gas tank is unknown. I think he might tire out if it goes that late. I'm gonna go with MIOCIC by a split decision. Really decision. I think it'll be a close and contested fight. I think it goes the distance. I don't see Jones finding a finish on the feet. I don't see him finding a finish via submission. I think it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a great fight. In the end, MIOCIC is gonna edge it out. No matter what, I think the fight's going to go to a decision. I think that's the biggest thing coming out of my prediction. I think it's going to go late. I don't think anyone's going to finish each other. There might be a case for Jones at the end. Jones might win that fight, and they give it to MIOCIC, and vice versa. It's going to be a controversial fight, but I think MIOCIC edges it out. Just with the better boxing, just being faster, too, I think. I think he's going to be faster in this matchup, just from what I've seen in the Gon fight. Not much. Going to be faster. Might even hit a little harder. I don't know. Yeah, I think in this matchup, man, the 38-year-old might have a little, snap to his step a little bit and get the job done. So give me Stipe Miocic by a split decision to get the job done at UFC 295. Leave a like on the video, subscribe. Peace out, Mo Squad. You already know what it is.